Thokozani, dumelang bana ba badimo le sedikganya. Okay, so dumelang. I don't even know how to start this video, but hello guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. I am Tlhobogalo Promise Ramba for those of you who do not know. So today is a very special day, ne? Today is a very special day. The reason why it is a very special day is because I am back in Australia. I'm back in Australia. I've been back since last week Wednesday. Well, it's very complicated. I flew back. Yes, I arrived in Australia on Wednesday, but it was like just an hour before we entered into Thursday. So I arrived oh my time. I arrived at around 11 p.m. on Wednesday night, and then yeah, I've been in Australia. It's been over a week, one day over a week, and I've been trying to adjust, post hustle, post everything. I did upload a video, guys, when I was still in South Africa. It was gonna be my last video, but when I watched it, I was not so happy with it because I was going through a thing, like I was going through a transition because it was end of Twaso and then entering into new life, and I was in a mood. So I deleted that video. I didn't upload it. And then now I was thinking to myself, okay, Promise, you have to go back to YouTube. You have to go back to normal programming. How are you going to do this, So I always pray about everything that I do. I try to invite God and my ancestors in everything because they need to guide me and show me, because I also need to do their work while doing the work that I also want to do. When I have to serve them, I have to serve myself as well. So I was like, okay, fine. How am I going to do this? I didn't know how I was going to do it. And then something just said, pray. And this whole time, ever since I returned from Australia, I was unable to pray. I was unable to pass and all of that. And I was not in alignment with who I feel I am and who I want to be. And I always keep consulting with myself. So I was like, Promise, what is wrong? Promise, what is wrong? And then I just never really got the answers to what was really wrong with me, because I was supposed to be happy, I was supposed to be happy to be back home. I am happy, I'm over the moon, but the transition from where I've been the past couple of months, well, it's not been a couple of months, it's been 10 months, a whole year. So from that to me being here right now, it is a transition. A lot of things I feel have changed, even though it's not really, a lot of things have not really changed, but for me, I see things in a very different light. So for me, a lot of things have changed, and I had to retransition. I had to I had to transition into this new life, and it was very hard for me. It was so difficult. So anyways, this whole week I was trying to adjust. I was trying to breathe in, take in everything. A lot of things have changed, you guys. One thing that has changed that bothers me are my children. Like, my children have grown so much and they are so independent, and I'm like, wait, hold up. They can prepare themselves in the morning. Like, I'm like, wait, don't you need me to, like, help you brush your teeth and stuff? They're like, nah, we all good. I'm like, wait, I need a new baby now, because this one is not normal for me. Because they are so grown. They're independent women. They can do things themselves. They go to bed. They want to just sleep, and they can sleep alone. And I'm like, wait, okay. But I understand that they had to adjust when mommy was gone, and now I have to adjust to coming back and having them had adjusted to mommy being gone. I don't know if the English serves me well, but I think you understand what I'm saying. So I was like, yo, okay, fine. So those are the things that I've been struggling with. I've also been struggling with how I'm going to, merge my current life into my current life, and how that's going to work. I know I have to return back to work. I know I have to return back to this channel and doing what I do, relocation stuff. So I've been trying to, work around it and see how I'm going to do it. And one thing, it was so overwhelming. It was so difficult to even think of. So I just got stuck. There was a day where it was so depressing, because when I thought of everything that my life encompasses right now, like, is it encompass just English? Everything that is my life, when I looked at it, I was like, yo, my life is huge. Like, my life is a movie. I don't even know what like, I don't even know what I'm gonna do. But one thing just came to me and said, pray. Something just said, pray. it's gonna work itself out. You just pray, and don't forget to pray, and pray every day, and pray even if it's the smallest of prayers, but just pray. So I sat down and I was like, okay, fine. I've not, ever since I came back, I've not prayed, like seriously prayed. And then I was like, okay, I need to pray, and I need to pray how I usually would pray when I want to go into an intense prayer with Mudimu and Badimu. So I'm going to show you guys what I do when I pasha, okay? So this is just simple, how I would simply like do it, like in a simple way. Like this is like basic. A lot of people pasha in different ways. I just want to show you, because when I interact with most of my friends and I tell them you must pasha, you must pray, they don't understand. Pasha, pray, what do you mean? Pashing and praying is one thing. It is the same thing. Pasha is a prayer, okay? Praying, no, pasha is one thing. There are some people who just pray like pasha. I think the reason why a lot of people don't understand it is because when you pasha, there are certain things that you use to pasha, okay? There are people who pray and they use candles to pray. So it is still pasha, but then they would be saying, no, we are praying because we're just using candles. But for a mere fact that you're using something to pray, even if it's water, even if it's snuff, whatever that you're going to be using, it is pasha when we look at it in an African sense. But generally it is to pray, okay? So I'll be pashing, I'll be praying, and I'll be showing you how I'm going to be doing my pashing and praying, because I really need to invite God and my ancestors into my life, into my YouTube space, into what I'm going to be doing with my life. So this is me moving forward. I don't think I'm going to do this again. So this is the first and the last time you'll be seeing me praying and pashing on my YouTube channel, I hope, because I'm like, you know what, I'm inviting them and then they're invited, so they should know that they're here all the time. I get it. So I'm going to be showing you just how I pasha and how I pray and how I've been doing it even when I was in Twaso. These are some of the things that I would do. I used to do this also before I twasad, but it wasn't as guided and as informed as it is right now, because now I know how to do it. You know, I fully know how to do it, and I know why I'm doing certain things. So before that, it would just be, okay, I've learned this from growing up. This is what my grandmother used to do. This is what people used to do in my culture. But I never really understood the basics of it and the understanding of where it comes from and why we should do certain things. So now, because obviously me, it is Sangoma. Me, I'm a Sangoma. I know how to now I believe I know how to pray and pasha. There are different ways you can do it, but for me this is the basic way I do it, like the quick way to do it. Basic, quick, very easy. There are different ways, as I said. There are ways where you can use like barking mapuruma from umkomboti. There are many different ways you can do it. You can use different candles. I also am a person who will be using different candles to pray, but at the moment I don't have access to the different candles that I need, so I'll just be using the white one, because the white one, Jebele, it is your gateway, it is your entry, it is your koko into the spiritual realm. It is for God, it is for purity, it is vele, it just introduces you into that spiritual realm. Like, so you just need the white candle, it is fine. But when you want to introduce other candles, like your yellow ones, blue ones, they have got different meanings. But if you need them and you've been called to pray with them, they will then come in after this white candle. I'll maybe show you how to do that someday, but not today. Today I'm just praying, and I'm hoping that I'm not going to have a lot of content where I'm doing some Sangoma stuff, because I'm like, I promise that's just not you. But today I am just praying. It is just me saying to my ancestors and saying to myself and talking to you guys that, you know what, I am going through a transition, and I'm hoping you guys will go through this transition with me. And I'm going to pray so that I invite my ancestors and God into this. And from here onwards, we know that they have been invited. So anyways, I'm going to show you what I'm going to be using. This is, okay, number one, the candle. I get it's number one. This is also a candle, you guys. So I was using this jar to light my candles, and then you can see it's like in the shape of a jarish nyana. Oh my god, I've got flu. My nose is running, I'm sorry. So this is in the shape of a jar. It's not, is it a jar? Glass nyana. So, and then we used to put the candle inside, and then it would melt. As you can see, like this is melted candle. So I was like, oh, this would actually be good to put my candle here when I'm praying. And then so I've got my white candle. That's what I'm going to be using. It's going to be on top of this. Sorry. I've got my matchstick because I'm going to be lighting umpepo wami. So I've got umpepo. Don't ask me where I got umpepo. I've got connections. I'm joking. This umpepo name, we got it last year. My husband ordered it online. My husband always has connections somewhere. He always knows where to get stuff. So this umpepo, he ordered it online, and I think it came all the way from America. I was so shocked. I was like, America? Umpepo? How does that one work? But then when it was mailed to us, it had a US address, and I was like, okay, now this is interesting. But anyway, maybe they do use it. We don't know. We're not gonna judge. But we got it from the US. It was shipped from somewhere in the US. But it is original umpepo. It is umpepo. It works like umpepo. I've got my incense stick here. Is it incense stick? Yes, I always use incense sticks. I love using incense sticks. I love using them. I've been a person that has loved them ever since varsity, I believe. I think I got introduced to them in varsity, and I just love them because when I realized that they do the same work as umpepo, I was like, hey, let's just do this. But this one, they smell good. So I'm like, hey, imagine like doing the same work as umpepo and then it smells good. I'm like, hey, bonus. So the one that I'm using today is African Mask. My husband actually bought this one. I've got like different ones, but then I like this one. My husband bought it when I was away, and then he was using it, and I'm like, hey, I should use it as well. I've got a glass of water. Yes, it's from the fridge because I like cold water. But you can use any type of water, like warm water, lukewarm water. I just like using cold water. So I've got water. Should I explain why I have water? Okay. Maybe let me explain. So with water, water is something that connects us to our ancestors because we've got different kind of ancestors. I don't want to go into a whole lesson, but I always find it very important to have water when you are praying, because I believe when you're praying, all the prayers will then go into the water, and you drink the water, and then you internalize the water. There are different ways you can work with water when you pasha and when you're praying. Sometimes what people do is before they sleep, they will pasha, and then they will pray into the water and in the water situation, and then they will sleep with the water in the glass next to their bed, and then at night it will be there. They sleep throughout the night, and then when they wake up in the morning, they pray again, and then they throw the water out. Some people do that, but for me, I always believe it is when you're praying for certain things, but when you're praying for other things, it is okay for you to drink it, and then like to pour the water, pray over it, and then drink it. That's how I see it. It's only silalelo. What is a silalelo in English? You see these white things they use in church. These white, when you go to certain church, I've been to so many churches, by the way, in my life. So I discovered this one church where I think it's Methodist. Yes, I think it's Methodist where they use silalelo. So they've got the white, that white papery thingy that sometimes you want to steal because it tastes so nice. So it's like that white thing. I think they sometimes call it the body of Christ. So it's having water and praying with the water is like having silalelo. I don't know what silalelo is in English, but it's like having it, and then you pray over it, and then you eat the body of Christ, sort of, allegedly. But it is something similar to that. Like I believe it is something similar to that when you are then drinking the water. So for me, I like to pray and then drink the water. But then if I'm going to be praying and passing before bedtime, I'll put it on my bedside, but I'll make sure that the prayer is aligned with what I'm going to be, doing the water thing for. It's not really a ritual, but it's a way of life. And then I've got my matchsticks here. I did show you my matchsticks, so it's for burning umpepo wami, and also my my incense stick and my candle. You must always use a matchstick, okay? When you are passing, you must always use a matchstick because you cannot use a lighter. I don't think ancestors register lighters. I think that is why. But you must always use a matchstick. There are a lot of theories about how to use the matchsticks. Some people say you must use one matchstick for each thing that you're going to be lighting. When you have different candles, you must use one matchstick for each candles. But my philosophy and my belief is that when you are using a matchstick, let's say for example I've got different candles, just use the same matchstick, because I feel like it connects all your candles. But for umpepo, you can use a different matchstick because sometimes you don't want to burn yourself unless you've got like a very long matchstick. But I believe using one matchstick is not a problem. If you want to do that, it is okay. If you want to use different ones, it's still okay. Like, it's really up to you. There are some people who believe in these matchstick rituals where you then put the matchsticks in your water, and then however the matchsticks rest in the water is a symbol of something, or is a communication from, like, some sort of communication from your ancestors. Amen. People have different beliefs, but for me, I believe in just using one matchstick to light the candle. If you can light the incense stick with that matchstick and then pepper with that matchstick, or the same light situation, it is okay. At the end of the day, you're praying to the same ancestors, your ancestors. As long as you introduce yourself, as long as you've lit up the situation, it is okay. That's my philosophy. And then I've got Sinefi. So guys, this one is a story. I got snuff. Sinefi. I've got proper snuff from back home. I got it from my grandmother. You know, this snuff, it was not supposed to be this little. It was supposed to be more than this. But the grandmother that I asked to do this snuff for, she robbed me. I love her so much though. But she was like to me, you know, that grandmother of mine. So you know what she did? I bought like raw tobacco. And then I was like, because she had discovered my late grandmother's, what do you call this, motabo. So motabo is like what you use to make snuff. You will not understand if you don't know. But then there's this, when you're making snuff, there's this thing called motabo, and then there's the raw tobacco. You have to grind the tobacco, and then you mix it with the motabo, right? So she discovered my grandmother's motabo. And then she's like, hey, your late grandmother left motabo behind. I'm like, you lie. She found it in the garage. I'm like, hey, let's make snuff. She's like, okay, fine. So I bought 2 packs of raw tobacco, and I said to her, okay, fine. So you do yours, and then you do mine, because I bought 2. And she's like, okay, no problem, cool. And then she did hers, and she did mine. It happened that I was supposed to return home. My homecoming was supposed to be on the 16th of October, and that didn't happen, right? So now it means that when her tobacco, then when she used her tobacco, and then she didn't have any more of her tobacco, she started using mine. And then when I came back home, and I'm like, okay, bring my tobacco, bring my snuff. She's like to me, you know, I was so worried about you, and I was so stressed that you're not coming home, my poor child. So I used your tobacco, your snuff, to pray and pasha so much. I was pashing every day for you. I'm like, Coco, imagine, this is how much I got. But it is so strong. Like, when you smoke it, it is so strong. Like, when you put it in your nose, it is so strong. I'm like, my grandmother's matabo. That one was powerful. But yeah, this is how much I got, and I'm so grateful and thankful, because at least I've got snuff. I brought it all the way from Africa. I thought customs was gonna give me a problem, but then they didn't. So I'm like, thank you, God. And I'm gonna be so careful with it. I'm gonna make sure that I don't abuse it. You see, this is the snuff. Oh, it smells like my grandmother. So I'm also gonna use the snuff. Okay. So my nose. So now I'm gonna get into. The prayer. I'm not gonna be long. I'm gonna try to not be too long, because then I'm gonna bore you guys, and I don't want to bore you. So, okay. So this is what we do when we pasha and we play. We have to firstly start with the matches. Here's the matches. What I normally do, that's what I prefer to do. So I will always put the candle. I will always light the candle. So I always have the candle on first. And then I will have this guy. I'll light up this guy. Okay. And just need to place this one here. So I've got my incense stick on, so it's gonna smell good. It's quite windy outside. It has been raining for the past 2-3 days now. All right, so I've got my candle on. Just gonna put it here. I'm gonna switch on umpepo one. So I've got now my incense stick going, I've got my candle, and then I'm gonna shisa umpepo. Ne? So I'm gonna use another stick. Hey, sticky. All right, I can't use these sticks. I'm used to the lion one. I've got a packet, by the way. I managed to get it into Australia. So I see some purple. Okay, so while I'm shisaping my purple, I'm gonna start to pray. I'm gonna prepare my snuff, because then I'm gonna put it on my grass mat. So then I'm gonna so now what I'm doing, I've introduced myself. So I told them this is me, Tolorelo Kukovela Bashega, Promisi, Motlatsi, Wanawakoshi. They call me Wanawakoshi, it's like my plain name. So it's like, yeah, when I introduce myself, I always want to say, hey, this is me, because it's very important for you to introduce yourself. And then I use the snuff. I put it first on my hands, and then I will then put it on the grass mat. So usually if you don't have the grass mat, you can do it on the floor or whatever corner that you're using. And then I say to them, Kamotsuko o Galbita Kirlihorisani ke no be ke tlile go no rapela go no lebetsa gore ke fihlile mo gae ke Australia, ke tlile ka mokgwa le nthumeleng ke phethile ke dirile ke lebitsa ka moka badimo ba ka ba go kganya ba ko leseding, ke lebitsa ka moka na ga lena ngetheng. Okay, so I am done with my prayer. I don't want it to be long. I can go on for days, okay? So I don't want that to be long. My paper is also almost done, as you can see. It's just the final little going on there. I am done praying. I am done saying what I needed to say. I've invited them. I have asked them to be with me in this journey that I'm gonna be taking. In this new journey. I feel like it's gonna be a new journey. And yes, I've said everything that I feel like I needed to say. For now, I'm gonna then drink the water. Do you want to watch me drink the water? It's okay. I'm gonna drink the water, and then I'm gonna just say goodbye to you guys. There we go. I drank the water. So I basically drank my prayer. It is well within me. It is going to digest, and then it will go into the toilet after it has clocked to my ancestors. Anyways, you guys, that's it from me. I have done my prayer. I have shown you how to pasha. I hope you guys know how to do a simple pashing. So nobody's gonna ask me, how do you then pasha? But this is how I do it. And yeah, I'm going to be uploading more videos, not of this, but of my work on YouTube. I just needed to invite my ancestors and kind of like, you know, end it off as a Sangoma. Like, not really end it off, but, you know, introduce you to me as now being a Sangoma. because that's who I am and that's who I'm going to be for the rest of my life. But this is not what I'm going to do on a daily basis. I was just inviting God and my ancestors into this so that I'm able to work and they allow me to also work, because without them, I don't think I would be able to do this job on YouTube. Not this one of the relocation and all of that. So it's very important to always invite Mudimu Badimu in everything that you do, because they're the ones who, you know, give us the passport and the ticket into whatever that we want to do. You know, it's very funny that I'm saying passport and ticket when we're talking relocation. But what I'm trying to say is that they're the ones who give the approval in everything that we do. So if you don't invite them and then you expect their things to, you know, there are some people who don't invite them and their things go well. I don't know what spirit they're using, but it seems to be working for them. For me, these are the spirits that I'm using. My ancestors, Mudimu, Badimu, they're the ones that have always guided me and they've always been in my life. And every time I've asked something from them, they've always given me. So now that I have things that I have wanted, I cannot then neglect them and say that, no, I can't have you in my life. So this is me wrapping it up. I have done what I needed to do. I have invited my ancestors into the space. If it is something that you find weird, it is okay. If it is something that you don't find weird, it is also okay. But it is very important for me to invite Mudimu Lebadimu, which is God, and my ancestors into everything that I do. And I was struggling to understand how I'm going to do it without, you know, I don't know. I was really struggling with how I'm going to do it until something said to me, just pray. And I felt it was very important for me to do it and leave it here for me to also remember what this is where I started. So now this journey moving forward, me in this whole relocation business and all of that, I have invited God and Mudimu Lebadimu Baka. I've invited Mudimu and Badimu Baka into this thing. I've invited God and my ancestors into this thing. And I'm saying to them, please take over, because for now, I don't know how I'm going to do it, how I'm going to serve God, how I'm going to serve my ancestors, and how I'm going to serve myself all together, all in one. But I am not isolated from God, my ancestors, and myself. I am one with them. So that is why it is very important for me to have them all together with me. So I am done. I've done my paddling, I've done my prayer. I feel much lighter. I feel so good. I feel aligned again. And this was very important for me to do. It's actually my first time doing it ever since I arrived in Australia. I've been struggling to do it because I was not in alignment with myself. But now I feel like the train is on the sporo. It is now moving. But yeah, I feel aligned again. I feel like myself again. I feel like I can get back to doing the work that I need to do. Whatever that God is calling me to do, I feel like I will be able to do it. Because when you are not aligned, honey boo boo child, you cannot be productive. So you need to always find a way to realign. Put yourself on track, honey boo boo. Because without that, you will not be able to live the life that you are meant to live. You will not be able to live a purposeful life. I'm going back to relocation conversations. I'm so excited about it. And I'm going back to everything that I've planned for this year. I'm going to be taking it into next year. And as you can see, I'm in my study. So this girl is going to be working. So yeah, I'm very excited about that. Anyways, you guys, that's it from me today. I will see you again in my next upload. And don't forget to pray, guys. And don't forget to pray about all the things that you want, because if you don't pray for it and you don't manifest it, when it doesn't come, don't think that you got the devil in your life. No, the devil that is in your life, it is you. So you need to stop being the devil and acting like you're a witch, and start praying for your things and start working for them and start manifesting them. That's the only thing I'm going to tell you. You manifest and you put the work in. Okay? That's what you should do. And you should pray. When you're manifesting, you are praying at the same time. I get it. So we must always do that one. But anyway, you guys, I will see you in my next upload. Goodbye.